Good morning, Facebook family and Instagram family. Happy Friday, or Friday, as we sometimes like to call it. Whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat. Today is Friday. The week has done what it was going to do, and we made it as purpose filled as possible. So, we're just going to go into our subject for today. We're still talking about legacy building strategies and what type of personal protection do you need to have in place for your business. I can't stress this topic enough. It's a chronic problem in America because we don't see an immediate value to it until something happens, and that's usually when it's too late. We wait until we're not in the best of health. We wait until we're not in the best of situations. And then we attempt to go and acquire this very precious commodity. But I want to encourage each and every one of you, especially if you are young, if you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s. Now is the best time to look at this as a long-term investment. And when I say investment, I'm not talking about investments where you're looking to get a return on it, even though you can, but I personally don't recommend it. There are so many other financial instruments that you can use to really put together a strong financial investment portfolio. But this particular investment is something that will bring peace of mind to you. It will bring peace of mind to your family. It would bring peace of mind to your business and those that you are connected to on all of those levels. And that is life insurance. Life insurance is simply insurance that pays out a sum of money either on the death of the insured for a specific period or a set period. The primary purpose of life insurance is to provide a financial benefit to dependents upon a premature death of the insured person. The policy pays a specific amount called a death benefit to the named beneficiary when the insured expires or passes away. If you retire and don't have issues paying bills or making ends meet, you may be in a position where you don't need life insurance because you've developed enough of a financial portfolio where you're investing your money is making money on your money. So at that particular time, just developing the right documents, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow, you're okay. But for majority of us here in America, we know we're not in that position. So if you retire with debt or have children or a spouse that is named a dependent or who is dependent upon you, keep life insurance. There are certain staple bills, I like to call them, that we pay. We pay our rent. We pay our car notes. We pay our insurance on the car. We will pay insurance on a phone, but will not put away a couple of dollars every month for life insurance. That is ridiculous. I'll repeat it. If you're going to put insurance on your phone, you need to put insurance on your life. Your life is more valuable than your phone. I know we live by our phones. I know we have our whole world on those phones, but that means nothing if there's no insurance on your life. Nobody can take your phone and get anything from that to be able to take care of you in your final hours. Life insurance can also be maintained during retirement to help pay for estate taxes. So life insurance has some pluses, okay? In addition to not going on social media, GoFundMe is not for funerals and not for funeral arrangements. The purpose of GoFundMe is to help organizations that is helping causes and to help benefit the global our global environment. Okay, it's not to take care of something that you should be taking full responsibility for in your own life. I can't stress it enough. Please, ma'am, please, sir, while you're in the soundness of your mind, where you're in the healthiness of your body, get life insurance. Because in some medical cases, you may not get insured at all, because some insurance companies are sticklers for certain medical conditions. I'm praying that the industry will change in that arena, because you have to deal with the demographics that's in front of you. A lot of people do wait until their older years, their 40s, 50s, and 60s, and think, oh, I could get insurance now. But if you have pre conditions, there can be stipulations against how much insurance you can get, or you may have to settle for a lesser type of policy to be able to properly put your loved ones in a good position. So, obtaining and maintaining life insurance when you are in your early 20s or 30s really costs cheaper. Now, this is where, having my personal experience when I was in my 20s and 30s, we think that we can use, and there are different types of insurances, not knocking the industry at all, just educating you. You don't have to use insurance to invest so that your premiums are too high for you to afford. Get a lesser type brand of insurance, like a term insurance, just to take care of that particular situation, and get educated on how to properly invest your money. One of the communities that I am connected to that has been a tremendous blessing to me is the Magnet Exchange Group. That's MAGNET exchangegroup.com. They will have the platforms to show you how to make a diverse investment portfolio for you and your business, so that your money is making money, but then your life insurance is set aside to do what it needs to do. So understand, the older you get, the more life insurance costs. See, we think because it's younger, it's expensive. No, it's the other way around. When you're younger, it's less expensive. When you're older, it's more expensive, because now they're covering preconditions. Now, if you're an adventurous person, like you're climbing mountains, you're snowboarding, or whatever it is, now you may want to take into consideration your activities. So it may be a little bit more to cover that, because you still want to live your life. Okay? But you want to stay as healthy as possible, and you want to get life insurance as soon as possible. If you have not, that's okay. If you go to magnetexchangegroup.com, we can assist you in making sure that you have the perfect fit of your life insurance for your way of living and for your business especially. Want to talk about a living will or living trust? Choose a lawyer that specializes in the types of trust that you wish to establish and has a good track record of doing so. You have a right to interview them just like you get interviewed on a job. When you sit down and assess what you need for your household, what you need for your family, what you want for your business, so that we talked about yesterday that you want your business to continue even after you are no longer here. You want to make sure that you are putting the right will documentation in place, the right trust documentations in place, so that your business can continue to thrive. Whoever you're leaving to as beneficiaries, or whoever you're leaving to continue your business, they can do that without any major interruptions. The biggest major interruption they're going to have is the fact that you're not there. That's the only one you want them to have. You want everything else to continue to flow on a, as you would wish or desire if you were still here. With that being said, make sure you are choosing lawyers that specialize in the type of trust that you wish to establish. And you can interview them, but before you go to multiple lawyers, sit down with everything that we've been doing for the past 5 or 6 weeks now. If you go to youtube.com and put in Lady Verne, Ladyverne, and go back to the other shows and sessions that we've had, to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's so that you are clear in your vision, mission, and purpose of exactly how you want things to continue to run in your absence. This way, you don't have to double back and find yourself, God forbid, in a incapacitated position to try to fix all of these things or establish and set these things up. You want to lay all of these foundational things down now while you have soundness of ability and mentality. Now, what a living will and a living trust does, it distributes your assets the way you desire them to be distributed. It can eliminate or even reduce estate taxes. That's why it's important that you find a lawyer that specializes in living wills and trusts. You can avoid probate if established correctly, because you don't want to work 30 and 40 years on a job or career, or you've put in 20, 30 years in your business. You've trained up and raised up your successors in your business, only to turn around and your state or local government gets everything when you still have family that's remaining, that they can carry on your vision, mission, and purpose, that you have raised up successors to continue. You want them to have the full benefit of everything that you have put in those kinds of years for. Now, you may have some family situations, and let's keep it 100, where you don't feel that leaving it in your family circle is advisable. The purpose of having a good trust lawyer or living will lawyer, they will assist you in making sure that you have the right executors in place that will carry out your wishes, and that will make sure that those wishes are carried out to the fullest extent as you have certified it. But at the end of the day, you don't have to be a billionaire, trillionaire, and I know this word doesn't exist, but zillionaire, to establish a will. Everybody needs a will. If you have any assets at all, memorabilia, things that are special to you, that have a history, that has a story that you would like to pass down to your generations, that is a valuable asset. You never know what monetary value may be connected to that. So make sure that you are designating everything that you want done in a will. So everybody needs a will. Even if you are to say whether you want to be resuscitated, you want to get the maximum care for yourself, or if you want to make the decision to do the necessary actions that will minimize any type of suffering of any kind, or whatever your desires, you need a will. You don't want family members, you don't want relatives going back and forth with each other, just going through a whole bunch of unnecessary heartache. They're already in grief that you are no longer with them. You don't want them stressing and worry about, and oh, I got to do a GoFundMe, and oh, I got to find where we're going to get this money from. And even if there's a falling out and family don't do that to them. Don't do that. That's just not right. Don't do that. Just get a small policy that makes sure that you can be respectably handled in that time. Take assessment of your assets, small and great, and prepare a trust, prepare a will, so that, and then I'm gonna be honest with you. In one aspect, yes, we must prepare for that day because it's inevitable. It's a part of life. But I'm also a firm believer that whatever you're willing to leave someone at your expiration, give it to them now. Let them enjoy it with you. See the joy that they, and the respect and the honor. You know, we had, and back in the day with our grandparents and great grandparents, they left heirlooms that they pass from one generation to another. And knowing that you're doing that with something that is very precious to you, that you want to share that story, you want to share that history, you want to leave that legacy to them, whether it's monetary, whether it's a physical item, you want to be able to designate that and make sure that it does not become a part of the probate process. But you can do it while you're alive. Give people their flowers while they can smell them. I mean, I understand the respect. Don't get me wrong. This is just my opinion, but I'd rather you give me my flowers now where I can smell them, where I can hug up and love up on you and let you know how grateful and thankful and appreciative that I am that you thought enough of me to give me those flowers. I can't smell them when I'm gone. I can't see them, or may not be desiring to see them. Hey, I'm gonna be so focused on worshiping and celebrating my Savior and Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not even gonna be looking at myself in that box. At least that's my opinion. That's my thought. But bless people while they are living, breathing, vertical, where they have their soundness of mind, and let people know that you love them. It's not about the material things you leave behind. It's the mark that you make while you are here, walking and talking and imparting wisdom and knowledge and love. I talk to my seasoned aged people. Yes, you are still viable. You are still valuable. There is so much wisdom that you can impart. I encourage our young people, when you have an opportunity to sit in the presence of a person of age, ask them questions, ask them advice, ask them for insight. They can spare you from a lot of unnecessary choices and decisions and give you guidance in making good decisions. Please don't discount us thinking that we don't know what we know. We haven't been on this planet long not to know anything, even if it's to tell you what not to do. That's still wisdom for you. So let's appreciate one another. Let's appreciate and respect others and make sure that you are prepared, that when it's your time to go home and meet your maker, that you have not left a burden but a blessing, in making sure that you have life insurance, that you have a living will in place, because that's a hard decision. Nobody wants to um, make the choice of the decision on what to do with the person's last days. Make that a will. Make that living will. Make that living trust, so that people know what to do in caring for you and loving on you in those final times. With that being said, thank you for joining me so much. I know this kind of may be a gloomy topic to talk about on a Friday. It's okay. You really want to make sure that you have peace of mind, that your family have peace of mind, so that when you are partying over this weekend, you know I got my business straight. My insurance and everything is intact, and I know I can make some moves because I've taken care of business. Thank you for coming to Business Strategies and Tips with Lady L. I am your host, Lady L. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you tomorrow, same time, same station. And we're going to wrap this subject up on a good note, on a positive note. With that being said, bye-bye for now.